haven't been here either.
A bunch of people were busy cooking. So Jerry, if you would do 9 through 13, Susie 14 through 16, Desiree, you get to finish the chapter. 12,
Sure.
9 through
I was there.
13.
I heard 12. Okay. Let love be without hypocrisy. Ardor what is evil, cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Give performance to one another in honor, not lagging behind in diligence, fervent in spirit service, serving the Lord, rejoicing and hoping, persevering in tribulation, devote to prayer. See 13, you said?
Yep.
Contributing to the needs of the saints, practicing hospitality. Yeah.
Bless those who persecute you, bless and do not curse them. Rejoice with those who rejoice, weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but associate with the lowly. Never be wise in your own sight.
Repay no one evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. To the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. For by so doing, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good.
So, love must be sincere. Have you ever loved someone unsincerely?
Unknowingly. I am divorced. There's that.
Well, the word sincere actually can be translated hypocrisy. So, let's
Which is what yours translation is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mine says genuine.
Yeah.
Let love be genuine.
So,
Is that love?
what's that
It
mean?
must not be agape.
It is agape.
It is agape. Oh.
It's not phileo.
So it's agape and anipokritos. Anopokritos, which is the hypocrisy of hypocrisy.
So we're all at a loss as to why we are encouraged by the Holy Spirit to love without hypocrisy.
I don't understand.
It kind of makes sense. Cross references 1 Timothy 1:5, which he goes into a little more detail, and he says that the goal of this command is love, which comes from a pure heart, a good conscience, and sincere faith.
Yeah, the definition that they have is unfeigned, undisguised. For without hypocrisy or for sincere. What does feigned mean? It means genuine, sincere, and not feigned. What is feigned?
Like fake? That's how I'm saying, fake, yeah. Pretend.
Well, we can move on to hate what is evil. That should be easy. Cling to what is good. hate there is, loathe. To actively loathe. So I've got a little question here for us. Why? Why should we hate evil? Actually actively loathe the evil.
It's destruction.
Everything.
The exact opposite of
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that evil's mission is to cause separation and should hate being separated, or what causes you to be separated.
sin.
So we should hate evil because of what it does. Yeah. So what good comes from evil?
No good.
Nothing good.
Cling to what is good. The Greek there is the word we get glue from.
About as good as touching a hot stove.
And good is to wonder at, to be admirable, excelling in any respect. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Devoted, tenderly loving, like parents to a child. Honor one another, to give preference to go before as a leader.
Going back to evil.
Oh, back to evil.
Yeah, I'm just looking up stuff. Because you have within the definition of evil, evil that which is wicked, and then it can also go for the devil, the evil one, the wicked man, the wicked bad men, which kind of brought, I think the last time we actually talked about it, was like the aspect of loving, like, well, at the end we have love your enemy, right? Or at least leave room for God's wrath. But because if you go through the Psalms, often the wicked are tied to like people, not just like a philosophical or a like description of like, oh, this is evil. Sometimes there's like the wicked are. There doesn't seem to be a differentiation between the person and like the thing they're doing. The act. It's like these people are themselves wicked. But I'm like, is that more Old Testament mindset and Jesus is that? But because you had like, was there to destroy the nations? It's because they're performing child sacrifices to their gods, that they're doing wicked acts. There's a reason why they needed to cleanse the land because of what was there. But Jesus obviously teaches in a way that says, love your enemies.
Right, so like hate the sin, love the sinner, but how do you differentiate? If they're just evil people or evil doing?
No, we're not. I keep going. Keep doing.
Do I want to try to love this evil? Or do I want to? You know what, those are the things where I'm just like, you know what, God? I'd love for you to love him, go for it.
We were going over this with Jack and Nolan a little bit.
Which he did with the cross.
We were going over that with Jack and Nolan about a little bit more depth. Just that subject alone, that was pretty interesting. when you stop loving them, I mean, you got your order to love your enemy, but I mean, you can't hang out with them. You can love them, but you just can't be there. They don't want change.
Or love there, be there, praying that they come to Jesus.
Right, thank you.
Which, I mean, that's in the scriptures. If you have a spouse who is not, you become a believer, and your spouse is not a believer, do not divorce them,
No,
stay
they
with
have
them,
faith.
and that they might faith.
It's not
But,
easy.
no.
First Corinthians 7.
But if it's not your spouse or whatever, it's just somebody that's in your circle that's not, I guess, like
That
that.
you don't love sincerely.
Having lived the longest of anybody at the table and having experienced, I mean, I owned a sales company for 32 years, so I've interacted with a lot of people. And there's a difference between doing a bad act and being bad. And I think it's important to separate those concepts. Because we all do evil stuff, or at least we all sin. Now, we put degrees on sin, right?
I know sin is
God
bad.
doesn't put degrees on sin. Liar is in the same list as murderers. Now, is one maybe more heinous? Yes. You know, trying
Would
to
that be a
dive,
level of degree?
trying to dive into God's mind. You know, I've got my own theological definition of sin, which explains away the issue. But practically speaking, a child molester, as far as I'm concerned, is a much worse individual than a liar, right?
See, I would say that there is levels and degrees of sin. And you could even see that maybe in like Levitical law of sacrifices required for certain sins.
Correct.
For getting wigs and stuff back in the day for certain things.
And it all separates us from God. It's not that, oh, like you're just kind of.
Yes.
It's like, no, you are wicked and you're awful short of the glory of God. But there are definitely certain acts that where lying has a smaller, yeah, there are certainly acts that can have a greater degree of damage on your soul to others.
Don't forget what James says about the tongue.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
So-
it certainly can set the world on fire, right?
Well, if you say a little lie about the Jews, and Hitler was like, hey, I just, and all of a sudden,
well, that's how it started. I mean, I've known people who don't rise to the Hitler-Stalin Mao level of evil, but I've put them on my no contact list. I mean, I've got 6 people that I will not associate with. Just because over and over, I've tried to reach out, and over and over and over again, they've done their very best
yeah.
to fail spectacularly.
Ran out of cheeks and they stole your coat and your shirt and you're just done with them.
Walking around naked because I gave them everything I had. No, not quite that bad. So it takes discernment, I think, on some level. And it's something I'm struggling with this week.
Now, do you find it surprising that Paul has to tell believers to be?
Should be automatic. But it's so I mean, it's rampant today, but it wasn't back then. It was even
Mhm.
worse.
Oh, I'm sure it was
Yeah,
even
read-
worse back then, but,
Read what Roman life was like.
yeah, and yet I see that our culture is going to repeat history, I'm sure. But it's, I'm just surprised he has to tell the leaders to be people.
I think we just overthink everything, so like, it's black and white, but we like to think that things are gray. And like twist it, like, is that evil thing really that evil?
That's a good point.
So thinking about soldiers and their conversations and stuff, he's like, so I'm a Christian soldier, what does that mean
Mhm.
for my soul? I've sent bombs down to blow up tankers, and I don't know if there are people tanks not there anymore, I got there somehow, what does that do to my soul? What is that?
I was just talking to Green Beret at the church Thanksgiving, at the Grace. We had the food and stuff there, and we just was one of the door greeters, and he was a Green Beret, and he said that he had to, literally put people to death, and it's like, oh my gosh, it was him or me, it's like 7 years they dropped me off in Afghanistan, and this is, and how do you just come back to society and how do you reconcile? And there's nothing. He said there's nothing that in the United States, especially, that they just beat you off the bus, and then here you go, you're back in your work, and there's nobody to help you, nobody understands you, because just a few people in your family and your brothers where they're on the ground. Can't trust anybody.
My mind goes to like, well, you know what, God did send a flood. And a lot of people died there.
Certainly had David and after God's own heart. He couldn't build the temple. Yeah, he still had God's own heart. He brought the Ark of the Covenant into Jerusalem. Not after sacrificing animals to appease, but he had enough blood on his hands for battle. That's why Solomon had this aspect of dying for another person or willing to sacrifice for another person. When they're going, they're dying, they're sacrificing on our behalf. But it's certainly not what the Lord desires. Right? Scripture prophecy is talking about swords getting turned into plows. The nations will be at rest.
One of the things that strikes me as I read this passage is verses 9 through 10. Just all seem like it's on the very same topic. And the thing that sticks out to me particularly is different seasons of my life where God has had to set me down and teach me about what is, and convict me and discipline me about how I love at home and inside. And the reason I think about this, like I'm thinking about all this at once, and like you just mentioned, we're trying to tear it apart. And what if it's all one thought, like in your home life, remember, I won't, okay, so this does not happen, but I'm just using this as an illustration, okay, this is not.
Have room for me?
You got a cabin
If I took it backwards and I said, no, even my children or my husband, I can get really selfish. I can be insecure. I can be tired. I can be disappointed. I can be angry. And I'm going, but the Lord's saying, no, just back up. You honor that person for who that person is. Created in my image and love. Be devoted to them. just hate what's evil, hate the darkness is coming into your tongue and your thoughts, and just be sincere about your love with that person. Remind yourself why you're there.
Just love them
Remind
through that.
yourself. Yeah, and it's like, when I tear it all apart, it's hard for me to chunk it off in pieces, but if I look at that and just put it in everyday life, I know you haven't, but you're close enough to remember, and so are you, is teenagers are tough. Tough phrasing. That's what I did. Good job.
But you're terrible on threes and words. It's easier.
But I mean, so.
Threes are numbers.
She's not a little free-nature, I don't know.
They grow up much faster. But that passage reminds me that as a mom, that my love has to be sincere. Because I'm watching my grandkids and my other kids that are going through things and you go, they hate the stupid stuff they're doing. But, cling to what, I don't know if that makes any sense, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
just feels like we're, at least that's how it makes sense to me. God has to remind you, start at home, start right here, and let that go out.
This commentary I read about this Scriptures thing, it's talking about how abhor what's evil, cling to what's good. In some ways, it's often easier for us to either abhor what is evil or to cling to what is good. It's harder sometimes to do both. We have a tendency towards more evil. We have a tendency to think what's good. Let's see what you guys is. Do you feel that? Because it kind of does feel like to hate what is evil. It's like it sometimes feels hard to maybe separate it between the act and the person, and then to cling what is good. Like, okay, what does that mean to cling to what is good? Like, how am I like glued to what is good? What is that?
For me, when my dad was alcoholic, my mom and dad for a lot of years, all the way up till before we got married almost. And then, so a lot of years, I loved my dad, I just didn't love that. It seemed like the beer was always first, and I just had to take care of myself, and he was just a great guy and stuff. It's just like, and then once he stopped, it's like, now I got the other half. It's like, wow. And he's always regretted, he's always saying, I wish I would have stopped sooner, but I'm here now, so there's nothing I can do about that. I'm here for you now. Sometimes it takes a while.
What did it look like
Takes a while to get
cling
around your
to?
system.
What did it look like? Granted, this was. What was your faith like at that point? Was there faith, or what did it look like to cling to what is good? And that's what all of that.
It was more just self-reliance. It was just like, I don't want to, I basically survive in, and I do not want anything to do with that life. All my aunts and uncles, yeah.
Yes, so clinging to
Made me better, made me who
to
I am.
sobriety.
Yeah, made me who I am, and wanting part of that life.
And it is an interesting concept, the question you just asked me, because I can think of that too in the past. When I went, I didn't cling to anything, it wasn't until Christ. But I started clinging to God's Spirit. I couldn't see, anything, but I didn't even know what the good was.
I was looking for a dad that didn't do anything. Basically, Rick, my friend Rick, and he's like 10 years older than I am, or a little more. And a couple other people, it's like they were sober. So, yeah.
It's hard when somebody, I think about my brother. It's hard to think about anything good with him. I know he's my brother, but I think about other people and how they're destroying or have destroyed their families. It's hard to see good in, all things work together for good, right? That's not them. That's Jesus turning lemons into lemonade.
Yeah.
Hmm?
There's a song, he's our.
Forrest Frank.
Yeah, Forrest Frank.
But that, it's difficult for me not to flip full blown into the flesh when somebody's in a real disaster.
We can get another word.
Why is that word?
Started the
You
day
have
off.
Yeah, I thought that's what it
Your
is.
day
Or
or colorful word.
Or A. Or
Words.
I stumbled through that.
Rolodex of descriptive.
We got you.
Descriptive
You don't have to
words.
draw us a picture.
And what's interesting about the illustration he's using is because we've had fellowship with his brother. We've known that he was walking with Christ. We knew he was raising this community and where he was. And then when we returned back to that lifestyle, it was like, it was even worse. And there's been no, if there's a repentance, we've not seen it, but it's just destroyed, it destroys.
I've found that the difficulty in the relational aspect of family members who know the way, live the way, might have distorted it sometimes, but that now aren't, and to it truly feels like like the thing that matters most to me in my life, I can't even talk to you about this. And so I kind of hate, I hate what you're about in some ways, the things that they're clinging to, the things that they're living in. At the same time, it is that I'm praying, Lord, God, Lord, send an onslaught of just your followers who love you, who just are on fire for you, just to surround them, provoke that desire, or help them just get so miserable that they want you, or it's just Lord, and that is a very good prayer of, I want you to want this, I want you to desire this for yourself,
There
even
again,
if it means it's going to pain you to lay down.
my dad came down to the rope and said, I'm done with it. He opened up the Bible and he was like, I'm just done partying and drinking and smoking and
All boys and
sometimes
girls
just
to do
And I was waiting for
Yeah.
it.
So the whole crew used to come over every weekend and get free beer, and then all the check was gone, and go back to work Monday to make money for the next weekend for everybody to come over and drink beer, and that came to us all. And guess what? Nobody started showing up at the house when he decided this was more important. They went to somebody else's house.
Well, if we do what the rest of that paragraph says, if we can
Move along.
never be lacking in zeal thinking about praying for this person, I think about this brother when I keep your spirit, spiritual fervor, serving the Lord, just praying and asking the Lord about it, joyful in hope, which is hard to do.
And practicing. I like that.
Patient in affliction,
That word patience again.
faithful in prayer. I just thought that it's just interesting that the things that you're saying, if our love was sincere, this is where we would be patient and prayer for that person, and it's not easy.
Patience is my favorite word.
Patience,
Oh,
okay.
all the time, people much older than that, patience, my boy. Younger, I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. I would always hear comments like that.
Is he patient?
He is.
Yes, yeah.
He was very patient with his sister.
What is it? How do you guys ensure that you have spiritual fervor, or that you're not lacking in zeal? So that kind of goes to my earlier thing of the personal season revival, 4 a.m. prayers, and then I was like, wait, I can't even wake up past 7. What's going on, Lord? And so I have a truly that was a grace. I will take that as the Lord was doing something in me and felt close in a way that was supernatural. But there are certain rhythms I do to hold to that fervor that shaped and formed me, how it's, I still say I want more Lord. Yeah, what are things that help you guys keep your spiritual fervor?
If I was a battery, I'd be on a trickle charger, charged all the time. Don't let the battery get down low.
Well, I think what helps is going to something like this.
Yeah.
Having all you guys around, church family, Jacksonville is so helpful. Just going and diving deep in this stuff in a different way. It's like, gosh.
You know, reading the Bible every day too.
The not lacking in zeal is not lagging behind in diligence.
Yeah, the ESV says, do not be slothful in zeal. Be slow in zeal,
Fervent means to boil.
Be hot.
Don't be lukewarm, be hot.
In 13, it says share with the Lord's people. Is that like who?
I think the fellow brothers and sisters in Christ who were in need.
Mine's contributing to the needs of the saints.
Practice hospitality, that's
Practice.
different. The hospitality there is, to welcome one who's not in our immediate circle into one's home.
Love to strangers, hospitality.
Be patient with them. No?
We do, again, having lived in a different culture, we in America do one another very badly compared to the cultures we've experienced. It's not that we don't offer, it's that we don't receive. We had this conversation.
Receive!
Horrible attitude.
So, somebody's got the gift of helps, which is exactly what it sounds like, and yet they can't exercise it because nobody wants any help, right?
Guilty.
Come on, let me help. I wanna help, let me help. You can help by not helping.
So, the be devoted to one another, I think in 10 ties in with share with the Lord's people who are in need from the original Greek. It was the same word as used how parents take care of children. So, it's just, it's interesting how when we came back, we left for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then came back for another term. Maybe it wasn't that long, but we came in with a car full of stuff, and pulled up to the mission house, and there had to have been 20 people who were like, it was like locusts, and helping us unpack, and that was very typical of how they did things in Africa. We had a guy, the house next to us finally sold, and young guy moved in there, and all the neighbors were happily finding other things to do rather than to help him move in. And at any of the other cultures we've been in, that would have never happened.
Yeah.
I've had
All the
coworkers
neighbors
like
would
that.
have been there.
I have coworkers that would spend more time trying to get out of helping. If they would just help, they would have been done already.
What, connected, but different a little bit. I know that each culture has its own things, but like with spiritual fervor, with the hospitality, all that. What was like the spiritual fervor in comparison to America that you guys would say you experienced in Africa versus American church?
You mean like what is it for them for helping?
No, well, just like this, like what was their spiritual temperature? I mean, I know they have their own issues, and we've talked about those before.
If you,
But
to observe, emotionally, it was very high. I wouldn't say there was a ton of wisdom there. But, the emotionalism
but there
was very
zeal.
up there. Yes, the zeal, if you measured it in emotional outpouring, would be very high. And that was typical throughout the entire sub-Saharan Africa, and I don't know, we were in 8, 9 countries, so.
One of the things that I noticed is, we use the word emotional, and like, there may be other words that we could maybe think about. But part of it is, the women were all illiterate. So the only thing they knew was any encouragement word they gave to one another, or they could, and so emotionally, that, it was important, they had to be together, and somebody had to, they could talk about anything, but if someone would talk about the Lord and keep encouraging them, that helped them, their zeal. Because the reality is the evil there wasn't subtle.
Yeah.
It was real.
Yeah, it's in your face.
It was in your face, and so they knew the evil, and they also needed to hear more about Jesus and hear the truth about how he could help them, because if it wasn't there, they needed each other, then there was the fear of the ancestral spirits, the fears of the witch doctors. So it was a constant, that type of fervor. It was a battle for them.
How did you actually, like when you, or was it just men only could speak? What was like?
Most of the men, it was the men who came to the school that would, they all
I
had
was
to
just
know
wondering.
English.
I was just wondering if you said something and they would like discard what you said, or because you're a woman and you could read.
That's happened in other places we were at,
Yeah.
but not in Zambia.
Not in Zambia, yeah. And we did have some women that came as students who were because they were from the larger cities. that area
Well,
that we
they
were-
came from wealthier families.
wealthier families in larger cities. So, no, there's always depends on, it's hard to explain, it's no different than here. I could go to Tennessee and start teaching, and I would be looked down on. Here, depends on which church.
You got Royal Tennessean blood in you.
Yeah, so it's interesting that was, but anyways, that's how when he says emotional, that was the same with the guys. Cause the area that we
Yeah,
had, there were all the
I didn't
guys.
single out women.
No, I
No,
didn't, you
but
didn't, no,
just
I
an
was saying
example.
because that was my experience with women, they're illiterate, so they needed each other. They needed to talk, and that's how they kept their zeal going, it would excite them, because they were trying to learn the difference between Jesus being a good luck charm to truth.
Wow.
If all you ever faced your whole life was evil and ancestral spirits and witch doctors, it's easy to think, oh, he's just a good luck charm now. Yeah, and so they're in the process of learning the truth, that he was real, and they could feel him, but they could feel evil too.
Yeah,
So.
they're much more spiritually attuned.
Very very
But
I mean, the church, once a year,
That's in
we
most
were supposed to
countries.
go out in the woods on this big rock and literally fast from water and food for 3 days.
Wow.
We did. We wouldn't listen to them, but it was I go, it's incredible what they'll do to hear God's voice and to know Him, and finally, in 3 days, oh, that's a good vision. And that's because they had no food or water, and it was hot, you know, so it's.
Was thinking in that book, reading Leonard Ravenhill. He's just talking about a guy who's in India ministries, and he's like, the guy's corresponding back, so like, we're praying for you, the American church. We spend you spend an hour in church and start checking your watches. We over here, like, it's not uncommon for 5 hours of delighted, worshiping and hearing the word, praying, and it's like, that is a different zeal than what we see here.
Yeah,
Like to-
Nola's always saying that all the time where she's.
Yeah.
Wait,
Which the needs are, the evil, the needs are much more in your face. Ours are covered and met. I don't need this as much. Like, I need this, but like, I also have things like, I'm okay.
we Americans need to get out of the country and actually see what.
As Mike was saying,
Absolutely.
right? It's like our problems are
And not for 2 weeks either, for half a year.
Or we need to go to places like the slums and
Yeah.
LA.
Get out of the little, get off the boat and do the little tourist area, and you're not gonna see it. You gotta get,
Gotta go.
you gotta walk another couple blocks.
So, the,
Yes, and yeah, you know what, I've been here long enough to say, wow.
Couple streets.
It's the dark side.
Or just down the road from us on that side of 46.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so the, and it's in the language too.